Have you ever wondered what happens when greed overpowers friendship? Well, let me tell you a tale from West Africa that'll leave you thinking. In a lush green forest, filled with chirping birds and rustling leaves, there lived a cunning tortoise. This tortoise had only one dream: he longed to fly high in the sky. He would sit beneath the grandest trees, gazing up as birds soared effortlessly above him, their colorful feathers glittering in the sunlight. One day, the tortoise hatched a brilliant plan. He spotted a group of birds and approached them with an irresistible proposition. "Why don't we have a grand feast in the Sky Kingdom? You can take me with you, and we'll enjoy an endless banquet of fruits and nuts." The birds, intrigued by the tortoise's charm, agreed to his plan, eager to share the bounty of the sky. But the tortoise was not just a hungry dreamer. He was also a master of trickery. He convinced the birds that he could provide entertainment for the feast. "Just wait until you see my clever tricks," he promised, while secretly plotting to enjoy the feast all for himself. The day of the feast arrived, and together the tortoise and the birds began their journey upwards. With the wind beneath him, the tortoise felt a rush of exhilaration. He was finally flying. The birds flapped their wings, lifting him higher and higher until they reached the Sky Kingdom, an ethereal place filled with feasts that seemed to stretch for miles. However, once they got there, the tortoise's greed took over. He watched the birds as they feasted, and his heart raced with the desire to eat everything in sight. Instead of sharing, he devised a plan to trick the birds into letting him take whatever he wanted. "You must leave the feast and gather more fruits. I'll watch over the food," he urged, sweetening the deal with flattery. The birds, trusting their new friend, followed his advice and flew off to gather more. As soon as they were gone, the tortoise gorged himself, devouring as much as he could. The feast was glorious, but soon he began to feel uncomfortably full. Just then, he spotted the birds returning and, in a panic, he quickly covered the remains of the feast with leaves to hide his greed. The birds landed, thoroughly disappointed to see the feast diminished. "What happened?" they chirped. The tortoise, with a straight face, stammered, "Oh, dear friends, while you were gone, a giant bird swooped down and took almost everything." Instead of feeling guilty, the tortoise felt a pang of satisfaction. But the birds were no fools. They began to sense something was off, realizing the clever tortoise had tricked them. In a furious flap of wings and a raucous call, they swooped down and confronted him. The tortoise, desperate to save himself, pleaded for mercy, promising change and claiming that he only acted out of hunger. However, the birds were no longer convinced. They decided it was time to teach the tortoise a lesson in humility. With a collective flap of their wings, they tossed him out of the sky and back to the forest below, leaving him bewildered and alone. The tortoise learned the hard way that greed and deceit come with dire consequences. From that day on, he vowed to be honest. After all, there's a certain freedom in being true to oneself. So, next time you feel the urge to stretch the truth or let greed take the wheel, remember the clever tortoise and his lesson from the skies. What would you have done if you were the tortoise? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this.